Hi,
Hello.
Sarah. Hi. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you're all the way in Australia today?
Brisbane, Australia.
Oh, beautiful. Well,
It
thanks for getting up early and talking today.
is. No worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So let's start by getting to know you a little bit, telling
Mhm.
us your full name, your age, and how egg freezing first started coming into your life.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Sarah Ford. I'm 31 years old from Brisbane in Australia. I'm a criminal defence lawyer. And I always knew egg freezing was out there. It was one of those things everyone sort of knows about. But I actually went to a seminar hosted by the Women Lawyers Association of Queensland, and it was all about egg freezing and options for female lawyers in terms of family. And I had a bunch of obstetricians there to talk to us about what egg freezing is really about. So it was from that moment that I thought, you know what, that's an option and it's a feasible option.
Oh my gosh, that's really great that your associations and your professional career groups were proactive about fertility and even address the issue at all.
Yeah.
Do you work with a lot of women or is it mostly men?
I work with probably 6 or 7 other female lawyers. We're all around the same age.
So, what was your first thought when you learned about egg freezing? Is it something you immediately wanted to do? Was it something you were like scared of? Were you like, I want to find out more information? Like, what was your first thoughts?
My first thought was, why wouldn't I do this? What is there to lose? Once I went to that seminar, I realized that it wasn't as abstract as I thought it was, and that it was a really feasible option. And I thought, there's no reason that you wouldn't do this because I'm very career driven. I really want to progress, especially within my firm. And what I've noticed in the legal profession is that it's when women get to the age where they're supposed to be having children, so, 30, 31, etc., where they're really being looked at seriously for promotions and career progression. And what I've noticed is that, unfortunately, the women who do end up going away and having children, they often lose that ability to progress in the firm. And a lot of them sadly disappear and you never really hear about them again. And I've seen that happen to quite a few women who are very career focused, and I just really didn't want to become that person. So I thought this might be a way to avoid doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you ever heard of the psychologist Jordan Peterson. He talks about how women have to wrestle with our family futures much sooner than men do, and that a lot of women, the reason that there's money inequality is because women choose professions where they can have a career and also have a family, and that they shy away from careers that are very driven in their 30s, the prime age that we would normally have children, right? Because of the demand, and who wants to work 80 hours a week and then come home to children or take care of, how would you take care of a family that way, right?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I've even seen that in my professions, and different career choices, that a lot of women, when promotional roles come over or come about, or like the partnerships, or even like managerial roles come available, they shy away and back off from the head of the table, and they don't take
Yeah,
those roles because of how it would affect their family choices. And that's really
definitely,
sad because
definitely.
it'd be awesome if we could have it all. And I feel like,
I know.
why
Why
can't
can't we
we?
have it all?
Why can't we be the boss?
I'm
Be
determined to have it all.
the right, right. We just may not have it all at the same time, as Oprah says.
Yes, yes, that's what they say. I'm too stubborn to not have it all, though. I'm too determined.
I know. I can tell already. You're a firecracker. Um,
Yeah.
so you thought immediately, okay, I'm gonna do egg freezing. Then what was your next steps? How did you get the ball rolling?
So I jumped into it pretty much straight away in terms of looking up the different fertility clinics that were in Brisbane. So I started having a look at which clinic would be the best one. I spoke to a few people who I know have done IVF before, got a few recommendations. And then I basically went to the one that had the most recommendations and started the ball rolling that way. Ironically, though, as a criminal lawyer, your diary fills up very, very quickly. So even though I wanted to get it started straight away, I actually had to postpone it for maybe 3 or 4 months to actually find a point in my diary that was going to be convenient. Yeah. So, yeah, I wanted to start it immediately, but I just couldn't because of court commitments and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of hard to block off even a month, even though it's only 2 weeks. The preparation is really important. So,
especially when they tell you that you might only have 24 hours notice before the actual extraction.
Yeah.
And I'm a control freak, so that really concerned me. Yeah. I thought I'm not just going to be able to drop everything and go and have surgery.
Yeah.
Just court doesn't work like that.
Right, right. Did you tell your job or your work that you were embarking on this process?
Yeah, so I was very candid with them the whole way through the journey. I wanted them to know exactly what I was going through and when, and they were fantastic. They were really supportive, really understanding, wanted to be kept updated, which was really good.
Oh, wow. That's really neat. But it sounds like they were already progressive because they were telling you about the procedure and about egg freezing and had this seminar long before you even took a part of it. What about your other female colleagues? Did they ask a lot of questions or wonder about the process, or did they experience it with you?
They're all really interested in it, and they're all very progressive women, pretty feminist as well, which is good. They were a fabulous support network as well. But I actually vlogged about it on my Instagram, and they followed the journey that way. And I also went and ranted to them about various parts of the journey every day. So
what's your Instagram
they
name?
had me in their faces all the time.
Yeah, let's tell everybody about your Instagram name so we can look at it.
Yeah, so it's @lady.of.law. And basically it's my professional Instagram page, bit of fashion, bit of law, but I've also uploaded vlogs about my egg freezing journey. I just wanted to make vlogs that were informative and useful for people who are interested in undertaking the process, because really, aside from what you're doing, which is fabulous, there's just not that much out there. It's so science-based.
I know. It's like not enough people are open and willing to talk about it freely.
Yeah.
About what it's really like, and not sugarcoat it, not just say like, oh yeah, you'll figure it out. And it's also really expensive. So how did you decide to take care of some of the pricing and pay for it?
So I was pretty fortunate because I had my AMH levels tested, and the results were that I had lower levels than expected. And I don't know, I think we have pretty different health systems, but what's called Medicare over here ended up covering about 4,000 Australian dollars of the total $10,000 cost, which was amazing because my private health insurance doesn't cover it. So I ended up just taking out a personal loan.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be paying it back for a few years, but I think it's worthwhile.
It's kind of like a car payment, like the money we spent on freezing our eggs when we're in our younger 30s would definitely bring better results than if we were to do freezing closer to 40. And so it's more viable, and you pay 100%. It over time, and then it's an insurance policy essentially.
Definitely. And I mean, I'm not looking at buying a house or an apartment, which a lot of people my age are doing at the moment. So I thought, you know what, why not put the money to better use?
Yeah, it is a priority. Yeah, it's a priority system, like what's important to you. Yeah. So tell us, how did the procedure go? Was it what you expected? How did you feel injecting the meds? That whole process?
So I actually ended up undertaking the process twice,
Okay.
because the first time it didn't really work. So I was taking the injections, the standard injections, as well as Clexane, because I have a blood clotting history.
Yep.
So I needed to take Clexane, which is a blood thinner. The injections themselves were fine, except because I was on the Clexane, I started bruising pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Which, having a bruised tummy and injecting the bruised areas is not pleasant. So when I went for my first scan during the first set of treatment, they told me that I had only produced 3 eggs, and it probably wasn't going to be worth paying $10,000 to have them extracted. I was given 3 options at that point. The first was undertake a second round of treatment, try new meds. The second was just give up. And the third was, why don't you just have a baby now?
Oh, great. I love when they throw that option on your plate. You're like, great.
Sure, I'll pop out a baby now. That's fine. So anyway, I decided not to have the baby now, but to try another round of treatment. I thought, I've come this far. Why not? I've got nothing to lose. So I gave my body a break for a few weeks just to recover from the injections and the bruising, and then started on a new round of meds. Did that for a couple of weeks, went to my first scan, and they said that I was in the exact same position that I was in the first time round, so I'd only developed 2 or 3 eggs. I'd given up. I thought, it's not worth it, I'm done. I actually even considered not attending the second scan and just stopping my treatment altogether. But fortunately, I kept going. And then a few days later, I went to the second scan and they were like, oh, you've got 8 eggs. I was like, that is crazy. Within a couple of days, I developed 5 more eggs. So my obstetrician said to me that the usual range is between 8 and 14 that they like to extract. So I was right on the cusp. She said I didn't have to do it if I didn't want to, but I thought, why not? I might as well do it. 8 eggs are better than none. So I went in and had the procedure about 2 days later, I think, and they took 6 and froze 5.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
Pretty happy with.
Yeah.
Which,
so what was your AMH?
20, but
yeah,
something.
sure, of course, right? Like it is a numbers game, but numbers aren't everything. It's also quality. What was your AMH level for? You said you were 31 at the time, right?
I was 30 at the time.
30 at the time. Okay. What was your AMH level? Do you remember?
Oh, sorry, I can tell you.
Was it above or below 1?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Sorry, I don't remember.
It's hard to remember all those things. Yeah.
But
at least you were able to freeze 5 eggs. That's good. And then did you do it again, or you only did the 1 extraction?
Just the 1 extraction. And maybe in future I'll think about doing it again. But for now, I'm happy with having the 5 there.
Yeah, this actually happened with a couple of other women that I was talking to, and this is very common because what we have to do is be able to grow all the follicles at the same rate. And a lot of times, like maybe there could be a monster follicle, or there could be a couple follicles that eat up all the hormones, and then the other follicles can't grow. And it's not that you don't have eggs, it's just that the hormones aren't able to impact them. And so it's a little bit of a trick to get them boosting right away. They may not respond. And so some of the pre-priming that you do is really important. Did they put you on birth control at all or anything beforehand?
No, I actually can't take birth control because of my clotting history. So they didn't really do anything priming-wise. I thought perhaps that the first round of treatment didn't work because I was still drinking as a lawyer. We drink a lot.
Yeah. That's how you get through your job, right?
Exactly. What way to get rid of vicarious trauma than drinking it away?
Right.
And I thought maybe that was a factor. And I'm also a pretty big gym goer, and I hadn't been going to the gym, and my diet wasn't that great. because the treatments for me, or the injections for me, I always felt really, really bloated.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of cravings.
Yeah.
So as much as I thought that I was going to be able to stick to my normal routine, I was just eating shit. I wasn't exercising, and I was drinking probably more than usual. And then the next time I did it, I stopped the drinking, ate better, still couldn't really exercise, but it didn't really make much difference in the end.
Yeah. Well,
so anyone who says that you can't drink during it, they're a liar.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can. It's just, if you make your body a temple during that period of time that you're freezing, it's probably the best bet, because you are spending so much money on the freezing. But yeah, I mean, your eggs are still going to do whatever they're going to do. Science is going to do whatever it's going to do, regardless of the alcohol. But I do think that there's some advantages. I'll just tell you my own personal experience. The first couple of times I did egg freezing, I had like okay results, between that 15, 12, 15, 17 range. But I had a really high AMH. So it was expected for my age that, that would be the result. But I spent a whole year after that second freeze. For my third round, I spent a whole year taking vitamins, juicing, lowering my stress. What else did I do? Oh, I was off birth control for a whole year. So I woke up my ovaries, because I had taken birth control for a decade plus before this.
Yeah.
I actually, my first job out of college was in pharmaceuticals, and I sold birth control. So I started drinking the Kool-Aid way back when I was 21, And so when I got off of it, it took a while to kind of re-regulate or whatever. And this time I got over 30 eggs in one cycle. And now I still had a pretty good AMH for being almost 37. But, it's everybody's different. But I spent that 1 year really, really dedicating, and I had a better result. And I have to say, but now I also stimulated myself. I went a little rogue on my doctor, and I took extra meds, just 50 here, 50 units here, 25 units here. And I kind of added more to my regimen. Now, I work with a lot of the reproductive doctors, so I would call them and get second opinions and third opinions, and then be like, "Hey, can I do this?" And so then they would text me back, and they'd be like, "Yeah, that sounds okay. What are your blood levels?" And I was at risk for hyperstimulation because my estrogen was over 10,000, but it was worth it in the end, because I knew this was my last round. I couldn't afford it to do it again. Plus, at this time, I'm it's so taxing on your body, the bloating and just feeling so tired and drained, that I didn't want to go through this again. And so I wanted to use all my meds. That was my goal, because otherwise they're just going to go to waste, right? I already have them. I already own them. And sometimes, you can get extra when you do multiple cycles. You'll have extra left over. So I even use those meds, and so I'm not endorsing this as something everybody should do, but I do think that lifestyle factors play a role, and stress, and how you eat. And I'm not the biggest gym goer, but I like yoga, and I like meditation, and I like Pilates, and biking, and being outdoors when it's nice, especially because it was summer. But I do think that whatever you did the last 90 days definitely affects your outcome. But I don't know that for a scientific fact. It's just what I've experienced being my own guinea pig.
Yeah, I should say I was under quite a lot of stress during the 2 rounds that I did as well, just with work.
Yeah.
And I lost. How typical is this? The second day of starting the treatments, my guinea pig that I'd had for 6 years had died. So the emotional turmoil was just really kicking in.
Yeah, so you're pumped up with hormones, and then your pet dies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I come home to my partner after work, and his friends are here. We're meant to be going to a birthday dinner. And I'd been texting him all day saying, "Oh, these hormones are the worst. I feel awful. I just want to cry all the time." And I get home, and he pulls me into the room, and he says, "There's something I've got to tell you."
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. And he goes, see the shoebox on the balcony? Yeah. Well, Beetlejuice is in it.
Oh,
Beetlejuice is the guinea pig.
no.
I was like, what on earth? And then he starts crying. I was like, oh, you're kidding me. I think I was more annoyed than sad. I was just like, of all times, why now?
How long did you have Beetlejuice?
6 years.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
a guinea pig died after 5 years.
Yeah, right. But oh my gosh, for all the times for him to pass away, this is what he...
I know. But we gave him a nice Viking-style funeral down the river.
Oh. So you've been in a partnership or a relationship for a while?
Yes, I've been with my boyfriend for nearly 4 years.
And have you guys talked about this? Like, was he supportive in your decision to freeze?
Very supportive. So he's 2 years younger than me, and whilst we both certainly want to have children in future, I think for both of us it's in the distant future. He's very career focused as well. He's just started his own online business. He's a personal trainer. So we've both got priorities at the moment that are before children, and we still want to do a lot of traveling and spend our money elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he was very, very supportive during the process. In fact, I think he hated that he couldn't take the injections for me. And I think he probably also hated how independent I was about it. He was always trying to help and ask me what's going on. And I was just like, yeah, it's my thing. I'm doing it. You're like, keep doing what you're doing. I've got this. I don't need no man.
Oh, my. That's really interesting. So... like, were his eyes opened that you had to go through all this? Like, it's nice to have a partner to help take the meds, for example, especially like the trigger shot, because that's kind of hard to reach and get yourself. But like, did he pick you up from the hospital or go with you to the hospital and help you with the recovery?
Yeah, he was great. He drove me there. He took the day off work. He drove me to the hospital, and he picked me up afterwards and spent the rest of the day with me, caring for me, bringing me coffees in bed.
That's sweet. How was the recovery for you? Were you okay? Did you...
It was fine. I had a lot of cramping, which I wasn't really expecting, and the cramping lasted for about 2 or 3 days. But aside from that and a little bit of spotting, it was fine. I thought it was going to be much worse.
Yeah. I had a different experience all 3 times. Like, when one was like fine, then the second time I triggered with a different trigger shot, and I couldn't get out of bed for 12 hours. Like, I didn't even want to get out of bed to go to the bathroom. Wow. Yeah, I was like really kind of like decapacitated. And this last time was pretty intense too, but I felt good. Like, I went to dinner the night after my procedure.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I had tons of spotting though, and definitely an experience with the period afterwards. You know how your period comes.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, I felt like it was a bloody murder scene. Oh my God, it was like a bloody murder scene. I was like, just stay away.
Being on the blood thinning injections as well, for me, it was awful. There's so much blood.
I know. I think that I had to take, because I was at risk for hyperstimulation, I had to take a blood thinner as well for 5 or 6 days. And you're right. It definitely made the blood clotting and the everything like happen a lot more intense.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts now? Do you think you're going to do it again, or do you think you're going to wait and see how things go? Do you feel different after freezing?
I certainly feel like a weight has been lifted. I feel quite liberated. The pressure in terms of career and children, it's almost non-existent for me at the moment. So look, even if the eggs that have been extracted don't end up being viable in the future, it's almost going to be worth it just to feel how I feel now that it's done.
Yeah.
Seriously, like a huge weight has been lifted. What was your other question?
What
am I going to do now?
Yeah, what are you going to do now?
Yeah. Look, I certainly want to try to conceive naturally in future, but not for at least 5 years. So the eggs are really there as a backup option. Might do the treatments again, maybe in 2 or 3 years' time. I'll see where I'm at, but I'm pretty happy just having 5 in the bank right now.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about making embryos?
Yes and no. I suppose depends where me and my partner are at in the next few years, really. It's a pretty big commitment, creating an embryo.
I agree. Yeah, everything's still up in the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And just because you can't undo it once you make an embryo. It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I'm not optimistic about my future with him.
Right. No. It has nothing to do with them. It's just that it's more of a human stage of a life than just an egg is. Yeah. Like, I don't feel any bad feelings if I unthawed all my eggs and they didn't work. And then, but, you know, to know that I have an embryo out there, I could never destroy it. I feel like, oh, God, I got to at least try.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
And then if you have multiple embryos, you don't want all those babies, right? So it's a funny thing how you feel differently about embryos than you do about the eggs. Because the eggs aren't humans yet. You know, they were inside me and they were going to be inside me anyways. It's just like, it's just like if you're trying to get pregnant and you don't get pregnant that month. That's how it feels. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this has been such a fun chat, Sarah. You are very entertaining. I think that this is just a fun little chat and fun friendship that we've built online. So thank you so much for finding all my resources. Do you have any lasting advice? Do you have any lasting advice you want to share with?
Lasting advice? Just do it. If you can do it, do it.
I love it.
That's the advice.
You're like Nike. Just do it.
# no regrets.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, Sarah. We'll catch up with you online soon.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Yeah.